Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Strife Champions Rulebook, a series of videos describing how to play the game. I'm Buster the Fox, and this time we'll be covering the complexities of combat. Oh, we'll also be talking about fast skills, as I somehow forgot to talk about them until now, but this is just as good a video as any for that. To declare battle, you first need to control a creature. It must not be the first turn of the game, and that creature must not be tapped. As soon as you declare battle, that creature becomes tapped. When attacking with a creature, you may target either an opponent's creature, or attack your opponent's life total directly, even if your opponent has a creature on the field. The exception to this is if your opponent controls a creature with shield. If this is the case, you must target that creature for an attack. If there are 2 or more shields on your opponent's field, you may select which one to target, but only from among the creatures with shield. Creatures without shield, as well as your opponent's life total, may not be targeted for attacks until all shields have been removed from the field. So, you've decided to ignore your opponent's creatures and just go for the direct damage, eh? For this example, I've prepared a shot drone on the field that is ready to declare battle. To attack directly with it, we'll first need to declare that we are attacking and tap shot drone. Next, we declare our target, which is our opponent's life total this time. Assuming our opponent does nothing to stop us, we move on to damage calculation. In the case of a direct attack, damage calculation consists of life total minus power equals new life total. To do this, we check shot drone's power rating, which is 2. Then we subtract that number from our opponent's current life total, which is 20. This leaves our opponent with 18 life left. And that's the end of damage calculation for our direct attack. Good work. Now comes the real meat of combat, creature battles. To start, declare battle like before, tapping shot drone. This time I've prepared a soldier on the opponent's field for us to target. If our opponent has any quick effects they'd like to play, now is the time, but otherwise it's on to damage calculation. When creatures attack, both creatures deal damage to each other at the exact same moment. When they do so, they compare their power against the opposing creature's defense. In this case, Shot Drone, which has 2 power, is compared against Soldier, with 1 defense. Since Shot Drone's power is higher, Shot Drone destroys Soldier by battle. When a creature is destroyed by battle, it is sent to the graveyard. However, at the same time, Soldier compares its power of 2 against Shot Drone's defense of 1. This means that Soldier also destroys Shot Drone. In this case, both creatures are destroyed. This is commonly called a trade, as you had to trade one of your creatures to get rid of one of your opponent's creatures. However, let's now assume that instead of Shot Drone, we have a Metafish on the field. This card is a slightly stronger 3/2. If this card battles Soldier, let's see what happens. First, the attacker's damage calculation takes place. 3 power beats 1 defense, so Soldier is destroyed by battle. Next, the Defender. 2 power ties with 2 defense. In the case of a tie, Defender always wins battle. This means that Metafish is able to destroy Soldier without being destroyed itself. All things considered, this was a favorable outcome for us compared to having to sacrifice a creature of our own. Note that if a creature has an effect that activates when it battles, that effect activates as soon as an attack target has been declared. This means that players have time to activate fast skills and other effects in response. Speaking of which, let's finally talk about those fast skills. As you ought to know from the introductory video, fast skills are a type of skill that can be used even during your opponent's turn. This makes them useful for cutting in and ruining your opponent's plans before they are even executed. Fast skills may be played during your own turn too, like any other skill. Even during your opponent's turn, however, you'll still be required to pay that skill's energy cost in order to use it. That being said, bear in mind that if used during your opponent's turn, you will not be allowed to discard cards from your hand to generate temporary energy. That ability may only be used during your own turn. With this in mind, make sure to save enough energy from your reserve if you have a fast skill that you think you might want to play during your opponent's next turn. So when exactly can you play a fast skill? The answer is pretty simple actually. Fast skills may be played in response to other cards' activations. For example, say your opponent plays the greatest weapon and targets one of his or her creatures. In response, before the greatest weapon's effect resolves, you may play a fast skill from your hand by paying the energy cost, in this case, Reprimand. Strife Champions uses a first in, last out system when resolving effects. What this means is that your Reprimand effect stacks on top of the greatest weapon's effect, and when those effects resolve, the latest card's effect comes out first. In this case, that means that Reprimand successfully negates the greatest weapon's effect. Since its effect has now been negated, the greatest weapon has no effect, and simply goes straight to the graveyard. Other times you can play fast skills are as follows. When your opponent summons a creature, when your opponent declares an attack with a creature, when your opponent activates the effect of a card on his or her side of the field, or even just during your own main phase like any other skill. You can even use a fast skill to counter your opponent's fast skill if they play one during your turn. This was all very complicated, so I won't blame you if you need to re-watch this video once or twice. For those familiar with other card games, combat works essentially the same as Hearthstone, and fast skills are pretty much the same thing as instants from Magic the Gathering. Hopefully that helps. Only one more video to go. That one will talk about supplemental rules which didn't quite fit in with any of these other videos. If you have yet to watch them, click here to find the full playlist of Rulebook videos. Alternatively, here's a video in which I put together some redstone for my card shop. You can watch that, if you're interested.